what I've noticed with all these guys like Jesse Waters, all of them, all of these guys that consider themselves quote unquote men. By the way, first of all, any man that has to stop and tell you why he's a man is not a man. The dudes that I hang out with that I would take into war, never bring it up.
When do
They
you
never talk shit. They're like, no, I'm cool with who I am. Let me tell you why I'm a man. Well, dude, you're right there. I know you're not.
Yeah, when somebody says it, like, wait, when do you ever think about the fact of being a man? When do you? It's never even. You're just being.
But these guys, it's all week. There was a guy. There's Andrew Tate. There's a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate. There's all these guys who's, by the way, Andrew Tate got arrested again. He's actually under house arrest right now because
this is what you told us last week, right?
Did I get?
Because I had to ask.
No, I've been talking about it all week.
Explain to me who is Andrew Tate, and then you guys said
he's the guy who's shirtless on Instagram, smoking a cigar, talking about how women need to blah blah blah, and you need to kill and kick some ass and blah blah blah. It's like, shut up.
Okay.
And so they took all his cars. He's made all this money, but they don't know. No one knows how he made his money. A lot of it was from the internet,
social media, influencer.
But then he's a sex trafficker too, and he moved to Romania. Britain, I guess, is expediting him, going to extradite him, and they went and they impounded all his cars. Like, I mean, seriously, Lambos, Ferraris. There was like 15. Like flatbed trucks. And what the thing is with these guys is I always want to go,
wait, a lot of flatbed trucks for the trafficking? Is that what that was? Like
no,
a fleet of cargo.
Yeah. So here's my thing is that like all these guys that talk about being a man are suspect. You're suspect. If you have to tell people what a man you are, you're suspect. Yeah. Something I said years ago when Trump was around the first time, a rich man doesn't talk about how rich he is. A smart man doesn't talk how smart he is. A strong man doesn't talk about how strong he is. A con man does. A fucking con man does. Yeah. So you're a con man, and people have tried to and God bless. There's a lot of dumb people in the world that buy the bullshit.
Yeah,
there's a lot, but we have right now with the media. I literally watched Jake Tapper basically give Lindsey Graham a foot massage. Like he was just interviewing Lindsey Graham, and it was the saddest thing I've ever seen. No fact checking, no calling him out. And I'm just, I've watched Anderson Cooper just sit there while someone spewed bullshit and he goes, all right, we'll be right back. You didn't even
challenge it at all?
Yeah,
no, that's what's on CNN. They stopped doing it. They've stopped doing it. It's literally become. I've
seen Stephanie Rule challenge people in the moment and just go, look, we're not doing that here. You're not going to say that. It's not
I've
true.
seen that in the past, but recently it's become more of a talk show. She's like more of, what do you think? What do you think? And it's like, first of all, why the fuck am I listening to these pundits that I don't know?
Here's the thing that we didn't used to have. Stephanie Rule they all do this. Stephanie Rule will be like this, and she knows.
By the way, she's one of my favorites too.
Now you and I know that there are monitors
right
there where she can see herself. So you'll watch her do this and look at herself, and then
adjust.
And I'm like, are we doing the news or are you watching yourself? Yeah. Which means you're not listening to what they're saying.
But also, why are these people on the news giving me your opinion of some shit that may or may not happen that 95% of the time doesn't happen? Who the fuck are you people?
Yeah.
Listen, look, I know we're douchebags. Like this podcast is douchebags. We are just, I watch the news. Here's my opinion about the news. That's why you come here. But these guys are having professionals on. What makes you? There's a couple people that I who's the lawyer? Who's the CEO?
Yeah, Andrew Weissman.
Andrew Weissman's he was a lawyer. He's done some. He's got some background. When I see McMaster on, when I see Millie on, when I see someone who's actually done something.
Yeah.
But who the fuck are these other people?
Yeah.
And
I like the former 4-star general that whistles when he says his S's. What's his name? Whenever he's on, he's my favorite.
But so those guys,
Matthew McConaughey.
So when they have professional people, that seems like news. But then they have all these other people that are just writing the same shit on Twitter or threads that I'm writing.
Yeah.
Like, why are you on the news?
And if they're on the news, well, okay, so you're right. Our that's not our job, right? We're not journalists.
Right.
We're not news anchors.
No.
We're not telling the news. We're talking about it, but that's not our job. You're a comic. You're a comic.
Right.
I'm a...
rapper.
There you go.
You are an editor. You're multi-talented.
Thank you. I'll go to my website. Their job.
TravelingWilburys.com.
God damn it.
Willing Bureau. Go ahead.
That is their fucking job. They are supposed to speak truth to power. They are supposed to challenge all the truth and bring the fucking facts.
Not anymore. They're just supposed to be the most famous.
Dan Rather, Walter Cronkite.
So this goes back to the original question. Where's the funding? How the funding changed? So now they're in it for advertising dollars, and they're seeing that rage makes money and division makes money
and conflict and conflict.
Yes.
And
salacious.
Yes.
Salacious, right?
I mean, that's always, but now it's like integrated into their business now.
But
so now,
yes, it's part of the business model. It's keep it going, and that's why they keep propping this asshole up.
Yes.
I mean,
how else would this million-time criminal? This guy is still in our public. He's running for fucking president, because we have not shut this fucking guy
down. As I said in the Armageddon, they facilitated it. Walter Cronkite, Dan Rather, none of these guys, Brian Walls, none of these guys would have facilitated it. They would have said, Dan Rather would have went off on television. Remember when Dan Rather went kind of nuts for a minute? And he was, guy jumped in his cab. What's the frequency? Kenneth, all that shit that happened to Dan Rather. Because Dan Rather was like, this man has no place in American politics.
That's the thing. Nobody takes their glasses off anymore to make a point. Yeah. If anybody, that's it. That's the missing.
Well, like I did the rap with Walter Cronkite in the update. It's like none of these. When I watch Ari Melber dropping rap quotes, are you the fucking news? What are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, it's just become reality TV.
But I would not cover him like he's a serious candidate. I would say he tried to overthrow the government. We have audio of him pressuring state representatives to
I play it every night.
Find fake votes, and I'm not going to cover him. I'll cover anyone else who runs, but that guy is a traitor, and I'm not going to cover him. And then I'd be fired.
We watched him be a traitor, but that's it right there. So they've got these jobs owned by these billionaire right wingers. So now your paycheck's $1.2 million a year, and you're like, I'm going to stand up for right and wrong. Well, you're going to get fired. Okay. Well, Trump's a viable candidate, up against Kamala Harris. He's going to have a little more trouble, but I would be, what? They're fucking with the country. It's not, this time isn't Romney and John Kerry or this is, you're fucking with ending the country at this point. And to have, to be such cowards and so fucking weak. Texas Paul, Tiedrich, on his newsletter. You've got all these people online that are actually bringing the truth in what this fucking guy is. And I think that, so media is worried about they're losing their audience. But you lost your audience. Yes. You did it. You did it by being pussies. You did it by having people come on, like having some lame ass comic. And by the way, I'm a comic. On the news on Friday, let's talk about it. Give me some wackiness. What the fuck? You're in the news. Yeah. What are you doing?
Even their sets are like like a candy store. Like it's just bright and shiny. When it used to be, there was typewriters in the background.
There was three people behind him, just
oh my God.
Guy on the phone going, what? Like that, exactly. You're right. There was like clocks. There was panic going on behind them.
What time is it in Paris? Let's get back to that question, because that I feel like is at the root of it. Is okay, Walter Cronkite. They had all of those guys and women. They had a level of respect for for journalism and for telling the truth. Like they came up through that, and then
they understood. Well, here's the thing: they came up through a different system. They came up through a reporter system where they had to be right, where the scoop was a thing. And even as recent when Trump got elected in 2020, it's changed since 2016, because I remember Rachel Maddow going after him every night. We were like, oh no. And the weird part, Ray and I started to notice after the first year, was no one was reacting to it. And she called it horror fatigue, where basically Trump brought so much horror that at one point you were like, what's today? Okay. What's tomorrow? Okay. Yep. And it was just fucking shitty after shitty after shitty. And we got used to shitty.